Hello and welcome back to another Star Citizen video. It is time. It is the finale for IAE 2955, and this is your last chance to grab some of the ships if you want to, but more importantly, for those who are new to Star Citizen, you only need a starter pack, and what's better than a starter pack? A discounted starter pack. And do stay tuned because I'm gonna release a starter pack video for you guys out there, for those who wants to get into Star Citizen, for those who are on the fence, and I'll talk a little bit more about the state of the game as well. Like, should you play Star Citizen today, or should you continue to not say continue? Actually, this kind of self-answered a little bit because you should be playing Star Citizen during the free fly event during IAE 2955, and we already have 2 weeks of fun in the verse. And that's about it. Yeah, as long you played Star Citizen, the rest does not really matter in my opinion, because the only thing you should do after that, if you want to still to if you still want to continue your journey in Star Citizen, is just get a starter pack. And of course, the discounted starter pack is the best choice, but we want to take a look at other alternative as well, because we got some cool ships, we got some nice beginner ship as well, and that's about it. Yeah, so I'm gonna separate that to a different video, because if not, this video is gonna be way too long. Because today, or rather this video, we're gonna do our annual tradition. We're gonna build the Carrack for cheap, and the Perseus. We're gonna add in the Perseus for this year. It is a small little project for me to build the cheapest possible Perseus if I were to start today. That's the disclaimer. And for those who are new to the game, the reason is because you want more expensive ship, right? There will be a time that you say, you know what, I would like to have more expensive ship. And instead of paying sticker price, this is how I do it. And this is how most people do it as well. If not, everyone else wants to get cheaper ships, or got cheaper ships in general. You know what? Yes, no. Everyone's going to follow this strategy anyway. It is no secret by this time, all right? And I'm going to do this build live, air quote. Okay, so let's start off with what do we have for the finale? Because finale, we have daily deals. Okay, be careful. It is daily, so we're gonna cover as much as we can, and we're gonna slowly build up day by day. We're gonna do a small little update, because I'm gonna still push out video as much as I can daily for Star Citizen during the IAE event. So you know what? I think it's worth covering the daily deals. And today we got the Ironclad. Easy pickup for me because I won the Ironclad, but at $450. Obviously we go for the special upgrade offer, just do a simple upgrade. Unfortunately, the Ironclad is clashing a little bit with our Perseus Carrack build. Good part is it might make our ship cheaper. One small little note for the Ironclad, and this is mainly how I prepare a little bit. The Ironclad right now is in concept. But before we go there, $10. I'll pick this up. Alright. So right now Ironclad is at $450. It is in concept. When this ship goes to flight ready, there is a small chance that this ship will go up a lot in value. For example, maybe, I highly doubt it's going to be 500, maybe 550, no, 550, I think that's probably the ballpark, right? Plus minus 550. But if this guy go up to 600, 600 plus, there we go. That's where the chunk of the air quote savings are. And if it goes up to, like, for example, 600, okay? Let's say it goes up to $600. You are in range with Perseus closer. Carrack, unfortunately, it is at $600. So if these guys go to $550, then the Carrack is still cheaper in general. So there it is, right? This is the main secret, the main source of getting cheaper ships. However, this is a long game because you never know when this ship goes live or flight ready. However, there are a few small little news along the way, like not say leak, but developer notes. I think one of that is in the talking about talking ships. Ironclad is kind of close to flight ready. Right? Don't take my words on it. You should watch the video. It is on Star Citizen's own channel. It My prediction is probably 2027 latest. Because they did say something about 2026. There are a few ships coming out, and one of them is the Ironclad, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, don't take my word for it. Watch the video and decipher it yourself. But I'll pick this up. Okay, easy pickup. Next up, also another easy pickup is the Constellation Andromeda. So this is for those who wants to build a decent multi-crew yet soloable ship. And guess what? There are a handful of those ships. One of them is the Constellation Andromeda. At $240, usually I'm not bothered, but because there is a special upgrade offer, now this ship is back in the menu. Yes, $220. The price of a Medipin. You get the Constellation Andromeda, and it is, oh boy, it is exciting, right? And guess what? If you got bored with the Constellation Taurus, you want a little bit more oomph, okay? Then there we go, Constellation Andromeda. Now, the reason why I like, not say why I like, the main reason why I like, in fact, Constellation Connie, I'm going to call it Connie. The Connie series in general is one of the first, actually, no, it is the first early ship in the verse that makes me say, you know what, I really want a bigger ship. At first, I was like, you know what, I probably going to be okay with Avenger Titan, right? Small little story time. And then once I flew the Avenger Titan extensively, I was like, okay, you know what? I got bored. I want a bigger ship, right? I want to go a little bit bigger. And then comes the Cutlass Black. And oh boy, the Cutlass Black, I literally enjoy a lot, right? I tried the Cutlass Black, I tried the Freelancer, I actually rotate a few, both of them. And of course, when Freelancer Mist came out, I you know, try to fit in a few here and there, and at the end of the day I keep going back to the Cutlass series in general. And then when Cutlass came out, I was like, oh, this is perfect, right? And then I decided, you know what, let's give the Constellation a try. And there goes my internet spaceship addiction. No, the Constellation Andromeda literally blew everything out of the water. I was like, oh, it still has pilot control weapons. I can still do some fun stuff. And then the moment they allow me to undock the Merlin, that's right, the Constellation Andromeda has an extra vehicle, and that is the dock. Not say dock. That is a Kruger P-52 Merlin snout fighter. So you're basically getting two ships with the price of one. It has a decent size of cargo space as well. So once they enable the undocking for the Merlin, the rest is history. It's literally one of the best multi-crew ship that you can get with relatively cheap price. Although $240 was a little bit too much, so $220, that's great. And guess what? If you got bored with the Constellation Andromeda, you know what's the next best ship? The Corsair. The Corsair is just $10 more, and then you got more pew pew, and it's still Drake. So it's a win-win situation regardless how you see it, because of the special upgrade offer. That's it. Even the Corsair, if you can get it if it has Warborn upgrade, I would recommend that ship as well, because that ship is also another misunderstood. No, it is an interesting ship because of the development. I blame CIG for this, and with that being said, everything is subjected to change, which is painful. Yeah, the Corsair was great when it was introduced. In fact, it was the multi-crew ship, right? It beats up the Taurus, literally, because it has lots more firepower for the pilot. And then they decided to nerf it, say, okay, you know what? Two of your main big guns is now a man turret, or you need a co-pilot. And now they backtrack a little bit, or rather, few months ago, they say, hey, you know what? If you don't have a co-pilot on the seat, you can use it. I was like, what? It went from great, nerf, and then back to great again. Yeah, so that's the story for the Corsair, and those are the few multi-cruise ship that I can easily recommend. Easily. And the price is, it doesn't break your bank. It is still expensive. All right, do note. I have to admit, it is still expensive when you compare to other traditional game pricing. Yeah, that's it. All right, this is Star Citizen, so that's the reason why I say everything else does not really matter. All you need is a starter pack. Everything else is purchasable in game. All right, so with that, let's move on to some of the stuff that I am not bothered. For example, patch bundles. Literally, I'm not bothered. Given with all the state of things with CIG, I would say no. Really, really no. Like, no, no. I mean, it's cool. We have some cool armors. Some of the armors, I really like it, but no, no, no. Unless they come out, okay, you know what? I'm gonna eat my words a little bit. I have a feeling if they come out with a patch bundle that has a Polaris in it or a Perseus, I might want to get it. Might. But most of the time, I'm gonna say no, right? No. No to all these things because CIG is getting a little bit greedy for my liking. And for some of you guys, you probably will be saying, oh, CIG has been greedy in the beginning. It's like, true. But then again, it was Internet Spaceship. Internet Spaceship is their main business plan, not cosmetics. That's the way I draw the line. And that's it. All right, and of course, don't miss out. You can still grab the remaining stuff of. I can mess this up a bit. You have everything else to buy in the game, but before we do that. Actually, no, I kind of messed it up. Don't bother with any of this until you get the last daily deals, all right? The last finale Warborn daily deals, because that's where you can decide how you want to build your ship. And with that being said, let's get into it. Let's build the Perseus as cheaply as we can, and the Karak. All right. So with that, I'm gonna go straight to the Perseus. No, since today's star of the show is kind of the Perseus, so I'm gonna go to the Perseus sales page, and then I'm gonna put all the information on how I built the Perseus on screen. Okay, it's time to build the Perseus and the Karak in between while at it. Okay, so first thing first, I'm gonna pick up the MDC at $45. Now, why MDC, you ask? Because MDC comes with two very interesting things. Number one, obviously, is the lifetime insurance, the one that I care the most. And secondly, it does come with extra PDT option, and that is crucial for the Perseus, especially if you want to pick up the Perseus. All right, and that's it. That's really, really it. Okay. So MDC $45, MDC to Clipper. Unfortunately, this is the part where I would say this is a gap. And for this type of gap, you want to try to find something in between and slot it. If not, it's going to be a little bit painful. But for today's calculation sake, we're going to consider it as something that we don't have, or something that we are impatient on. Okay. So MDC2 Clipper Warborn $85, Clipper to Prospector $5, Prospector to Zeus BIS $10 Warborn. And I swap out two Zeus Best in Show because why not? Zeus ES to Zeus MR $15, Zeus MR to Medipin Warborn $10, Medipin to Cutlass Steel $15, Cutlass Steel to Warborn Meteor $5. Meteor to Blade $15, Blade to Stinger Warborn $15, which is great. Now you get to play the Stinger in between the builds. Stinger to Paladin Warborn $10 as well, which is great. Now you get some of the cool ships that you can play. However, from the Paladin to the next upgrade, it is a big, huge gap. You can go to the Ironclad route at $60 Warborn. But I want to go to the base build that I've done for myself, which is the Prowler, and that is $125. A little bit painful. Actually, not really a little bit, very painful. So this is considered a gap, and you want to fill in between. Ironclad is a great choice for now, but you don't want to buy the Paladin to Ironclad. You want to get Ironclad to the cheapest option. So you have much more wiggle room in between. But for calculation's sake, like I said, we're gonna take the Prowler. Prowler $125, and then Prowler 2600i Warbond $5. And this is the fun bit, all right? I want to use this Warbond. If I don't have the 600i Warbond daily deal, I'm not bothered. I will go for the Ironclad. 600i to Liberator $100. Again, that is a gap. That is a no fun gap, all right? And then Liberator to Banu Merchantman for $25. Warbond only for the Banu Merchantman. However, if you want to go for the Karak, that's $25. Haha, there we go. We got our Karak built. And last but not least, all right, from Banu Merchantman to the Perseus, no, from Banu Merchantman to the Perseus is $50 Warbond. And guess what the price is? The final calculation of the price tag is $535 if you were to build it today. And if you have been collecting some of the Warbond daily deals throughout IAE 2955. Now do note, we still have more to go. We still have 2 more days for the finale, so perhaps we can get some good deals in between. Yep, I think the best deal right now you should get is the Ironclad. I think the Ironclad is a better deal rather than the Prowler to 600i. Yeah, in my opinion. Okay, so unfortunately we have to throw away the 600i if you want for future builds. If you want to be patient, and I really recommend, I would say pick up most of the lists that I've just listed, except for MDC to Clipper. You want something in between, and then you want something in between Ironclad to the Liberators. Yeah, because it is too much. $125 for the Prowler is just way too much. $85 for the MDC to Clipper is also too much. The rest is good. And that's it. Wow, $535. I'll take it. I will take the price tag for the Perseus, and it is great. Whew. All right, so with that, that is all I have for you for today. Oh, I almost forgot. If you want the Polaris, you add on, I think, $75 on top of it. So Polaris for less than $900, less than five. I would say it's about six. Let's see, 75, 610, $610 for a Polaris. You know what? And the Polaris is best in show. So, ta-da! If you want to grab Polaris, it's also worth picking up, in my opinion, if you follow this upgrade. Although not today, right? You don't want to lock down the big ships because of the missing gaps. Yeah, you want to wait for next year. Definitely next year. Hopefully the Christmas sale. I think we might get some hopefully we get some decent ship. If not, wait for next year, especially Invictus launch week, and obviously the next year. IAE2956. With that, that's it. That's all I have for you for today. With that, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and help this channel grow. Until then. No, not until then. I kind of messed it up. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Until then, I will see you in the verse and fly prosperous. I kind of messed that up a little bit in the previous video. All right, cool. That's it. See ya, my friends.